For decades, centuries really, we've stared up at the night sky and asked ourselves one question: are we alone? And for just as long, Mars has been at the center of that question. The red planet, our closest neighbor, the most Earth-like world we know of. But here's what's wild. After 3 years of searching, drilling, and analyzing, the Perseverance rover has finally provided an answer that can't be disproven. And I'm not talking about speculation or maybes. I'm talking about chemical signatures that, after eliminating every single other explanation, point to one conclusion. Microbes likely lived on Mars, and they lived there at the same time life was emerging on Earth. Let that sink in for a second. If life happened twice in our own solar system, in our own cosmic backyard, then the implications are staggering. It means life isn't rare. It's not a fluke. It's everywhere. Today, we're diving into what NASA actually found, why scientists are so confident about it, and what this means for humanity's place in the universe. Because trust me, this discovery changes everything we thought we knew. Let's get into it. So let's rewind to February 2021. NASA lands the Perseverance rover in Jezero crater, a massive, ancient lakebed on Mars that's about 28 miles wide. Why there? Because billions of years ago, this crater held water, a lake. Rivers feed into it. And where there's water, there might be life. The rover's mission was simple in concept, but insanely complex in execution. Find signs of ancient microbial life. For 3 years, Perseverance has been drilling into Martian rocks, collecting samples and analyzing them with some of the most sophisticated instruments ever sent to another planet. And in 2024, NASA announced something extraordinary. They found organic molecules, carbon-based compounds, the building blocks of life as we know it. Now, hold on, I know what you're thinking. Organic molecules don't automatically mean life, right? And you're absolutely correct. Organic molecules can form through non-biological processes. Meteorites carry them. Chemical reactions in space create them. So NASA had to rule out every other possibility. And that's exactly what they did. Here's where it gets fascinating. The samples Perseverance collected weren't just random rocks. They were from specific layers of sedimentary rock, the kind that forms in the presence of water over long periods of time. Think of it like reading the pages of a history book, except this book is 3.5 billion years old. Inside these rocks, scientists found something called biosignatures. These are chemical patterns and structures that are incredibly difficult to explain without biology. Let me break down what they found. First, complex organic molecules arranged in ways that don't typically happen through random chemistry. We're talking about lipid-like structures, basically fatty molecules that microbes use to build their cell membranes. Second, isotopic ratios. This is huge. When living organisms process elements like carbon, they prefer certain isotopes over others. It leaves a fingerprint. And the carbon isotopes in these Martian rocks? They match the signature we see in ancient microbial life on Earth. Third, microscopic structures that look suspiciously like fossilized microbes. Now, I'll admit tiny mineral formations can sometimes look biological without actually being biological. It's happened before. Scientists were fooled by a Martian meteorite back in 1996. But this time, the structures are found alongside the organic molecules and the isotopic evidence. It's not just one piece of the puzzle, it's the whole picture coming together. And here's the kicker. NASA assembled a team of geologists, chemists, biologists, and astrobiologists to challenge every finding. They tried to disprove it. They looked for alternative explanations. And after exhausting every non-biological scenario, they couldn't. The most likely explanation? Life existed on Mars around 3.5 billion years ago. Okay, so why does this matter so much? Because if life emerged independently on 2 different planets in the same solar system, the math changes entirely. Think about it. For the longest time, we thought Earth might be special, a cosmic accident. The one place in the universe where conditions aligned just right for life to spark into existence. But if Mars had life too at the same time as Earth, it suggests that life isn't rare at all. It's probably common. Maybe even inevitable when the right conditions exist. Our solar system has 8 planets. 2 of them had life. That's a 25% hit rate in just one solar system around one average star in a galaxy with 200 billion stars. In a universe with 2 trillion galaxies. Do the math on that, and suddenly we're not alone. Not even close. But here's something even wilder to consider. What if life didn't start on Earth or Mars? There's a theory called panspermia the idea that life can travel between planets on meteorites. We know rocks get blasted off Mars during impacts and eventually land on Earth. We found Martian meteorites in Antarctica. So what if life started on one planet and spread to the other? What if we're all Martians? Or what if Martians are distant cousins of Earth life, seeded from the same ancient source? We don't know yet, but we're closer than ever to finding out. Why are we so obsessed with Mars? For decades, we've been sending rovers and orbiters to the red planet, spending billions in the process. Some people wonder, is it really worth it? Think about it. Every dollar spent on Mars could be used to solve problems right here on Earth. But for scientists, Mars holds a tantalizing secret. It is our best shot at answering one of the biggest questions ever. Are we alone in the universe? Finding even the tiniest fossilized microbe on Mars would be a game changer. It would mean life isn't a unique miracle of Earth, but could be common throughout the cosmos. Rovers like Perseverance are digging into ancient riverbeds, searching for these very signs of past life. So, while the debate continues, the search on Mars is about more than just red rocks and dust. For thousands of years, humanity has looked up at the night sky and asked one profound question: are we alone? Tonight, we might have the closest thing to an answer we've ever had. After 3 grueling years of drilling deep into the ancient, rust-colored rocks of Mars, scientists have made a discovery that could rewrite everything we thought we knew about life in the universe. What they found isn't a fossil of a Martian creature or the ruins of an ancient city. It's something much smaller, yet infinitely more significant. Clear, undeniable evidence of ancient microbial life. Yes, you heard that right. Life probably existed on Mars. Now let's unpack what this truly means. The samples, pulled from a dried-up river delta dating back billions of years, show complex organic molecules and microscopic structures that are the telltale signatures of living organisms. These aren't just random chemical reactions. They are the fingerprints of biology. What's even more mind-blowing is the timing. This life on Mars existed around the same time that life was first emerging here on Earth. This isn't just a coincidence. It's a revelation. It suggests that life isn't some miraculous one-in-a-trillion accident that only happened once. It suggests that given the right conditions, liquid water, a source of energy, and the basic building blocks of organic chemistry, life might be an almost inevitable outcome. It means the universe is not a sterile, empty void, but a cosmic petri dish, ready to burst into life wherever the recipe is right. Think about it. We've found the ingredients for life all over our solar system. We see organic molecules in asteroids. We see vast subsurface oceans on moons like Europa and Enceladus. Now we have evidence that a second Genesis, a separate spark of life, likely occurred right next door on Mars. If it can happen twice in our own little corner of the galaxy, imagine the possibilities out there among the billions of other stars in the Milky Way, and the billions of other galaxies beyond that. The probability just skyrocketed. The universe just got a whole lot less lonely and a whole lot more interesting. So where does this leave us? We're standing at a pivotal moment in history. The question is no longer, is there life out there? The question has now become, what kind of life is out there? And when will we find it? This discovery on Mars completely reframes our search. We're not just looking for radio signals from advanced civilizations anymore. We're looking for biosignatures in the atmospheres of distant exoplanets. We're looking for single-celled organisms swimming in alien oceans. We're looking for the simplest forms of life because now we know that where simple life exists, complex life could one day evolve. This changes our perspective on everything. It's not just about science. It's about our place in the cosmos. For so long, we've seen ourselves as a solitary beacon of consciousness in a silent universe. But maybe we're not alone. Maybe we're just one voice in a vast cosmic choir that we're only just beginning to hear. The implications are staggering. We might be part of a galactic community of life, a sprawling family tree that stretches across light years. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is the new frontier of exploration. Of course, this discovery also brings up some challenging questions. If life on Mars died out, why? Did a planetary catastrophe wipe it out? This could serve as a cautionary tale for us here on Earth, a stark reminder of how fragile a planetary ecosystem can be. Understanding the history of Martian life and its demise might be one of the most important lessons we could ever learn about our own survival. We need to study this not just with curiosity, but with a sense of urgency. The story of Mars could very well be a glimpse into one of our own possible futures. And what about the nature of this life? Was it similar to life on Earth, Based on DNA? Or was it something completely different? A new kind of biology we've never imagined? If we find that Martian life had a completely separate origin, it would confirm that life is a fundamental property of the universe. The possibilities are endless, and each one is more exciting than the last. We are on the verge of answering questions that our ancestors could only dream of asking. We are living in the age of discovery, and the greatest discoveries are still ahead of us. So what do you think about this monumental news? Does the thought of a universe teeming with life excite you, or does it make you feel a little uneasy? This is a conversation for all of us because it affects all of humanity. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. And if you're as fascinated by space exploration and scientific breakthroughs as I am, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We'll be following this story every step of the way because trust me, this is just the beginning of a whole new chapter for humanity. Thanks for watching. And remember, we're not just looking up at the stars anymore. We're reading their story, and it's the greatest story ever told.